Hello and welcome back to our F1 Manager series and another live stream as we continue our McLaren journey off the back of the British Grand Prix and flipping over to the second half of the season very soon. So we are heading for round 12 in Hungary and a bit of a chilled stream as I don't think we'll get to the race this evening, but what we will be doing is we've got 11 days till the Grand Prix. So I'd imagine there's going to be some research projects that finish, perhaps some other scouting that we'll do because we started scouting for race engineers, so that may be back with us during this period. And it looks like in these upcoming events here, we've got a couple of news items to look at as well. So if you are new or you're watching this on demand, then please do subscribe to the channel, do like the video, get involved in the comments as that really helps me out and the channel. But with that said, let's get into the thick of it and let's check our inbox then. So as always, we've got a car inspection result. So quite a few failed parts following the British Grand Prix. So certainly something to have a look at there, which we'll do shortly. Underfloor research project is also now completed. So we've got a spare slot there to look at. F2 and F3 results, and we've got a sporting regulation vote. So, good morning. In Formula 1, regulation changes help us to continuously improve the sport for the benefit of competitors and fans alike. Does it? Not sure on the fans one. For taking this into consideration, we are proposing new sporting regulations for the 2024 season. Introducing a higher limit to the number of engines, ERS and gearboxes that can be used in a season should reduce the overall amount of powertrain failures and penalties. Please review the below details and respond in good time. Well, to be fair, this looks like a pretty good change, so I would suggest that we vote for this proposed change. Basically what this means is at the moment, if you play the game or you know F1, you'll be used to this. But every season, you are limited to a certain number of set parts. So not things like your front wings and all of that good stuff. But in terms of these things that we can see here, so gearbox, ERS, engine, you have a set amount that we're working across this year. So we've got 4 gearboxes, 2 ERSs, and 3 engines. So you can swap out new engines. But if you go over that limit, so let's say you get halfway through the season, 3/4, you need to put a 4th engine in. In the game, it's going to cost you money, but also obviously costing you money in real life. But the bigger effect for the teams in real life will be that they have to take a grid penalty, and we also get a grid penalty in the game. So changing this, voting for this to higher that limit for an extra 1 on each would help us out. So I see no reason why we would not vote in favour of that proposed change. So we shall do that and get the results of that one shortly. Be very surprised it'd be random. In real life, everyone would vote for that change. I can't see why you wouldn't. So we'll see what the AI comes back with. So underfloor research projects completed. So let's just jump into that because we've got to do some bits here anyway. So every time a research project finishes, we will start a new one. Let me just remind myself rules and regulations for next year. So it's front wing, rear wing. Yeah. Front wing, rear wing, underfloor, and suspension that's going to be affected. So what have we got? Front wing. My memory's so bad, I forgot already. So front wing, rear wing, underfloor, suspension. They're both wings, underfloor and suspension. Underfloor and suspension, underfloor and suspension. We've got rear wing and side pods. So we didn't really do side pods, did we? So let's get a research on just done underfloor, so let's get research on a new front wing underway. Go for 1. Go 14 of those. And we know the biggest penalty or the biggest change. Hi Dino, how's it going? Yeah, I know that's a pretty good one that came in there. Pretty happy with that. So, yeah. I'll be gutted if the AI vote against it, though. I don't know why they would, but there you go. So, yeah, let's... want to focus more on the low speed. And that will take 45 days to complete that. Cost of 1.6, that's fine. Let's just check. We haven't had a look, but finance I'm pretty comfortable on, but let's just have a look where we're at. Yeah, we're still pretty good on that at the moment. Right, so let's just have a review where we are with that. So we will have a... Oh yeah, because the... previously, the previous episode, we had the news message that the suspension had been brought forward by 10 days. So that one is actually going to finish before the Hungarian Grand Prix. But to save money, we're not going to do any emergency manufacturing, so we won't have any new parts on the car. But we will be able to start a new design project. So every time a design project finishes at the moment, we're going to do a new one. We probably will even stop that in a couple of Grand Prix time as well. Beyond that, we're going to have a side pod research project finish. So we'll do another research project, and then these two are going to come after the Hungarian Grand Prix. The design is on a suspension, so let's just see, have we got any suspensions that have failed here yet? So we've got one here. It's medium risk. So what have we got in the, let's just replace that suspension. So we've only got one suspension left on this new spec, but we are going to design a new one, so we may as well risk that. We can always go to the old spec if we need to. Our front wing, let's get that swapped out. And we've got a front wing there that we'll need to swap out. Side pods. We need to manufacture some new side pods and underfloor then, by the looks of it. Chassis. 2 chassis, 3 front wings, 4 rear wings, 2 side pods, 2 underfloors, 2 suspensions. Well, we've got some manufacturing going on as well, have we? Yeah, we've got a chassis going on anyway, so that's fine. So, you want... what did we say was finished suspension? So we don't want to do suspension, so do side pods. Let's get 2 more of them, so they're in the bank, and a couple of underfloors. Now. Oh, nice. Oh, that's going to be tight then across the old cost cap there. I haven't actually gone over the cost cap. I know I've seen others that have. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, damaged components or parts. You might have to go to old spec parts, I guess, to save a bit of money, which isn't great because you don't want to lose performance in the car. It's a bit of a challenge, but then you don't want to break the cost cap and get any sort of fines or again the board. They don't look too kindly on that either. Right, so I think we're pretty good on this. What has... Yeah, we're still pretty good on the engines for now. I'll give that one more race. I think that was all the tidying up we had to do there. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead a bit then. This annual Aramco F1 in schools. Well, final time with the aim to spread awareness about careers in science and engineering. Okay, so it's just an event. Staff development. Too bothered about staff development. 100k isn't too much though, but I mean 100k is 100k, so why not? I wouldn't do it if it's driver development, but not too fussed about pausing the staff development for 7 days. Yeah, so we know those are getting low. So we've just completed the side pods research. So let's start another research project. We know this is... we may as well do another underfloor then. I'll do the same process. Just trying to really focus on that low speed because it's a 30% reduction on next year's cars. So that's what we're trying to compensate against. 43 days for this one, 1.4. So now we're putting one engineer on these. They are going to be longer. For this, we might keep more engineers on one of the research projects just to keep a few more coming in as well. Oh, we've got the regulation vote result. Stand by. Yes, they did vote in favour. That is so fake, isn't it, to be fair? There's no way Red Bull and Mercedes would vote against that. If anything, it would be those that, although I think all teams near enough running against the cost cap anyway, so I just don't think anyone would vote against it in real life. But maybe if you were, a lower team like a Haas, you might do. But certainly if you're a Red Bull Mercedes, there's no reason why you would. Right, so we've got more manufacturing. Oh, right. We put more rests in for the... I think we're just going to have to keep resting them at the minute. In so many races, they're just so fatigued constantly, the pit crew, and they're making mistakes. But we put rests in here as well. I opted it last time to put some rests in. Still just completely exhausted. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see some pit stop mistakes. It's saying we've got a 45% chance of a mistake. Alright, so that new suspension design is completed. We can't manufacture yet until the chassis is done, so I'll have to wait on that. Yeah, no, exactly. I can't see anyone that would vote against that, as you say, unless it's in that kind of scenario. But certainly not your Mercs and Red Bulls. They'd be all for that. Got so much money to burn, they'd be happy to put a new engine in every race if they could. I suppose that's the balance we have with the cost cap. I think the cost cap is good in some ways. But yeah, penalties for... especially things when it's not your fault. I think the ruling should be a little bit different on that. Like the science one in Las Vegas last year was just, ridiculous that they had to take a penalty for that. Doesn't make sense. Okay, so we're on an ATA weekend. Yeah, so we'll be having to use set tyres in the quali sessions. Right, let's just have a look at these targets. I'm not sure we can reach Q3. I think we'll just go as is. Has Oscar improved at all on this? He's not going up, is he? I'm going to switch him to long runs. Try and get that smoothness up a little bit. What have we got? We've got a year left on Oscar's contract. So we definitely need to review him at the end of the year. So we're scouting a couple of engineers at the moment. Now, if I remember correctly, Pierre Gasly's got pretty good smoothness. See, if I'm going to replace Piastri, don't want to break the bank, so it's not going to be like a Hamilton. Be around sort of my experience of the game. Bottas not actually too bad. Yeah, we'll have to wait until that engineer scouting's come back, but we might do a bit of driver scouting as well. But let's head into some... Let me just check. Yeah, no, that's fine. I did that, didn't I? Cool. Right, yeah. Let's jump in to practice in the Hungarian Grand Prix. For pit training, do you use the commentator tab or instead of total? Don't know. Honestly, without looking, and obviously I've just clicked into the weekend, so I'll have to check that when I next can. But if you've got experience with pit training, I will take your guidance on that for sure, because I've not done too much on the pit training. Obviously, it wasn't a feature in the 2020.
Welcome to the beautiful Three Springs Valley, here in Hungary.
Yeah, I mean, even the salaries with the staff do as well.
Hungaroring. Located just outside
looking
Budapest.
to renew the staff contracts. That's why I'm looking at the race engineers, because again, they want loads, so I might as well compare it to what others want. But yeah, we'll see though. Oscar has been doing a little bit better. When I say better, he's not going to be near Lando, because obviously we know his stats are just done dirty on this game, and there's such a gap between him and Lando, so I can't judge him on Lando's performance. I need to judge him really where the car is, which is between 12th and 14th. And that's where he's been finishing consistently for the last 2-3 races. So from that standpoint, he's doing all right. Let's put these worse for wear parts on. Is a 10% gearbox going to make it through practice? It's one way to find out. These engines are getting warm. Costs so much though, the parts. That's why I can see, especially your save that you're in, Dino. If you're having to walk out a new part at the end, that's the issue when you get close to the end. I can't have time as easy as... Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know if I have. I can't remember without looking at it, if that makes sense. So, yeah, next time I will definitely check that out. We've got a 7% gearbox here. This is going to be fun. Gearboxes we're going to be fine on. I'm pretty confident we're not going to need a new gearbox, which, you know, only $1 million anyway for a gearbox. The RS is 2.5. The engine is 5, isn't it? Yeah, 5. Ugh. Disgusting. Although next year we will have 4 now, so that's yeah, definitely good. Right, let's double check we've put all these poor parts on. Let's bump that up in case we need it. We probably won't need all of that, but that's absolutely fine. I want a high wing angle, I feel, but this game is completely random sometimes, it seems, with the setup, so let's just see. Cool, right, let's jump into the first practice session. Let's send Oscar out first. And let's get Norris out just behind him.
Radio check.
Yep, radio check.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, no, I've not upgraded the race sim yet in this game. Again, it's always a balance with these costs, and especially when trying to get McLaren up there. yeah, it's like, do I invest the time and money in Piastri, or do I just get someone that can deliver it now? It's kind of like middle ground with McLaren, because you're not too bad on money and what have you. You know, if you're starting with a Red Bull or Ferrari, although you've already got good drivers, but if you want to bring a young driver in, you've got a bit more flexibility to, you know, develop and invest in them. Same with a lower team, you know, to save money. If you're a lower team, you wouldn't necessarily go and splash all that cash out on drivers, because then you've got no money to develop the car, so you're better off having a younger driver to develop. Yeah, that will do it.
How's balance?
Yeah, if you're having plenty of crashes.
I don't really know what to say about that.
Okay, understood.
In my save, now I'm saying this, something's going to happen in practice, but we've been pretty good in terms of crashes. Oscar's had his moments with spins and different things, but yeah, in terms of crashes, it's not been too bad. Want that probably there. Try that for now. But yeah, I haven't decided yet on Oscar. We'll do a bit of scouting, see what the costs
Any
are.
feedback?
Even if we keep with Oscar, we've got to renew him anyway, so we'll just wait up, see what the difference is between renewing him. Albon has a little moment at turn 11.
Now we're at turn 11 now.
Yeah.
Oh no! Why'd they go? And they might want to take a look at the floor of the car there, because that...
Let's have a look at Oscar. Normally you wouldn't have a front wing that low normally around Hungary, but there we go. Let's have a look. This wants to be there really, and let's be around there. We need to put that into there. That's good. So something like that for now. That's the way though, isn't it? If you would have kept an old part on, they wouldn't have crashed. It's a shame there's no actual F1 this weekend, although it's all been a bit of an anticlimax with Maxi boy. Mad, isn't it? We had that 2021 season, was such a good season for racing, and I know statistically the cars can follow better, although that seems to be less as these regs are going on, but yeah. I think in hindsight it's a wonderful thing if we would have just stuck with those 2021 cars.
How's the balance?
It's fine, I'm happy.
Okay, Lando, message understood.
But it's always the way, they change the regs, and you'll always have an outlier who's nailed them. And the problem is the regs are going to go on for a certain amount of time. So we're optimal on cornering. Traction is bad. So we need to get traction up to here. Let's get traction into there. Try and get this. Yeah. I think we're moving this though, are we? Too much on the front wing, but we'll go with that.
Oscar, is the car all okay?
Okay, so we're struggling with Oscar's setup at the moment. But yeah, I half wonder if they just need to let the regs run longer. I guess the fear is that you get a Red Bull dominate for the whole period, but as I say, with 2021, the Mercedes dominance, Red Bull had caught up, and you know, Ferrari, McLaren were all getting a bit closer. I think at some point in the regs, you'll reach the limit of how you can develop them. Right, let's have a look. We need to go somewhere there. Not there. Something like that. Hopefully that'll put Oscar in a nicer position. 12 minutes left. We may not get Oscar out, or if we do, he's not going to get out for very many laps in his first practice session. Yellow flag briefly there, but not going to get a replay of that. Oscar's going to get about 7 minutes. Might get one feedback, or maybe two. Oscar's got one set of feedback.
Oscar, how's the time?
It's fine, those tyres will last for the rest of the sesh.
Okay, understood.
And Lando get a third piece of feedback.
That's the checkered flag.
No, he can't. Oh, yes, he does. Just about. And Oscar got his second out of 5, so that's good going into practice 2. As Charles is going to take a grid penalty, so is Yuki. So, might be able to capitalise here. We did the most laps out of anyone. 36 for both our drivers. As we go into practice 2. I had a worry there that we were in a sprint weekend, but it's ATA, isn't it? So, we're good. These gearboxes are about to die, but that's fine. Run plan will be fine on 15 laps because we've got some feedback already. As we'll send Lando out first, just to keep it nice and fair.
Should be green.
Exciting news with F1 Manager 24 being announced. Create your own team. I know that's a feature that a lot of people wanted. My only concern is there was minimal changes from 22 to 23. Create a team is quite a large feature they'll promote, so I'm just wondering if they've put all their effort into that. For me, yeah, it's going to be good, but it's not going to majorly change the game, so to speak.
How's the balance?
Still want to see a bit more depth to the game. Driver academies, that kind of thing. Expand on the staff, more staff you can hire. I do like that they've announced that there will be a bit of poaching going on, though, through the season, so teams will be trying to speak to your staff and drivers and all of that good stuff. That will certainly spice it up a bit.
Something's happening.
I'll keep you updated.
I see a few popping in and out of the stream. If you are, please do like the video. It really helps me out as we head to get the guys in the garage to look at the setup of the car. Okay, so we're getting there, 86%. Good. So it's mainly the traction and braking stability. I think we want to go that way with that. There. We need a front wing. Can we get a rear? So if we do that, it's not going to bring the Tricky this is. Let's go with that, but I don't think it's going to be enough on some of those. Yes, mechanical failures will be good. And that will definitely add a bit of spice. Just hopefully they get that right in terms of the frequency. How many happen. So yeah, we definitely want to go that way, probably on that. Might not be too far off there on Oscar's. I'm a bit more confident on Oscar's setup. Yeah, and I think obviously they've added a few more camera angles. That's neither here or there for me. The cameras are pretty good already. They've apparently improved the racing dynamics, so that'll be interesting to see. There's a bit more on the 27th of this month, so not next week, week after, so we'll find out a bit more. But the yeah, creator team will be good. I'd like it to be difficult though, that's the only thing I would say. Don't make it so you can create a team and challenge within like the first year or two. You know, even 2 years too early for me. I know they want to cater to all, but for me, if you're creating a new team and you're acting as a new teammate in Formula 1, it's got to be a long few years you've got to put in to challenge, basically. Yeah, I've seen a bit of that in the community. I think especially as we've seen it.
We're looking at turn 11.
To be fair, we've seen it a little bit more regularly.
Oh no, that's not quite what they would have wanted.
In real Formula 1, drivers stepping in. Obviously, Behrman recently, but we had Lawson last year. We've seen it before with drivers being ill and different things. So I think definitely mixing that in is another potential. As I say, it doesn't have to happen very often, but even if you see it once or twice in a year across not necessarily even your team, but other teams, it would just mix it up a bit, wouldn't it? There's a load of little things they could do pretty easily, I'd imagine, without being a game developer, but you know, they're not game-changing things, just adding a bit of depth to it.
Let's see what happened there.
So
This one is
Yuki
involving
running
Yuki
wide.
Tsunoda. And nearly, oh,
Not really worth a replay on that one. As Lando has finished his run, but I don't think we got full feedback there, did we? Which is a bit annoying, but we're still off what we need. That needs to be there. It's got to stay there, isn't it? This is a difficulty with Lando today. Paxman, hope you're well. Nice to see you again. Done the same there, haven't we? We didn't put them on a long enough run. Let's have a look at these setups then. So brain space still great here. Very well, thank you. Hope you're doing well. How are you on this fine Friday? Yeah, exactly. That would be a good feature. Pick where you want to start, then it caters to everyone, doesn't it? So myself, if I'm creating a team, I would certainly plumb for going to the bottom, but then there's some people that only want to jump into this for a season or two. So yeah. As I say, I think they can do that with a lot of things. So as I said before, they can they expand, as I say, having driver academies, different drivers that you can scout, going through that in a lot more depth. You know, just have a feature like you find on other manager games like Football Manager where, you know, you can just have your staff take care of all your scouting. So if you're more of a casual player, you don't want to get involved with that, you just tick that on, you don't need to worry about it.
That's the checkered flag.
They're clapping in the McLaren garage. They're very happy with a second practice session. For some reason. As we will now head in to our third and final practice session. And 15 laps will be enough. Still 5% on the 2% on this gearbox. We might get down to our first 0% gearbox. Is that just going to retire the car? Normally does, so
Okay, Oscar. So the
might mess Lando's practice up a little bit, but hey ho, let's get the most out of that gearbox. Literally the most until it breaks. So yeah, F1, obviously creating a team, great feature to add. I like it. As I say, the poaching, that will add a bit of flavour to it. If they expand the staff, so rather than the whatever it is, 5 staff, you know, even if we can double that to have 10 positions, you know, head of aerodynamics, for example, just little things like that. That would be good, and then would even spice that sort of poaching of staff,
any feedback?
drivers up a little bit more. So yeah, got created the team. We've got that. As I say, if they expanded the staff and the positions a bit more. As I say, the only other thing there, if they could introduce academies and a wider driver pool and some more regen drivers and younger drivers, you sign at an early age and progress them, it would add a hell of a lot to the game. Right, let's just... Okay, we're great. Really getting to the nitty gritty here. What are we at? 86%. It's not the best. We like to be in the 90s. I think a front wing tweak might be enough. I'm just going to go for that for now and let him do a full run to get a track acclimatization up. If not, we're going to compensate. Hopefully that'll get him into at least the 90s. It's been a bit of a tricky setup to nail for both of these today. Oh, we're 94 though, Lando. Problem is if I drop that. Try that. Try that, and that's going to be it. And if we don't improve Lando's, we'll just revert back, because what are we at? Confirm. Oh, it's all going wrong. Hold on, we'll have a look at that before we send him out. 60% track acclimatization, 100% parts, because we've not got a new part on the car. Very rarely do now, maybe once every 4 or 5 races. Hoping we're going to have a much better 24 car, or at least base car. What did we... previous was 94, yeah. So if we don't improve it, we'll go back to 94, which I'm happy to say 94%. So let's just let these guys run. So yeah, F1 Manager 24 will be good. I think it's summer, and the last 2 games have been last week of August, so I'm expecting the same for this one. But yeah, hopefully end of the month they're going to release some more details, so it'll be interesting to see. And then we've got Australia, haven't we, next weekend? So yeah, expect more Red Bull dominance, or certainly Max dominance. Perhaps with a couple of weeks break though, the cars can... we are in Hungary, Paxman, at the Hungaroring. Yeah, hopefully some of the teams in real F1 when we hit Melbourne can... may not have new parts, but maybe they've understood the car a little bit more, maybe at least gain a few hundreds or temps, because even if you're a Max fan, well, if you are a Max fan, you're very happy. You don't want them to close, but I think for everyone else, yeah, you effectively want the teams to close, make it a little bit closer. So just have a look here. Yeah, so Piastri has finished his full set. Yeah, and Hungaroring is pretty good, or has been previously, been a pretty good track for prices as well. I don't know what country you're from or based in, Paxman, but obviously here in the UK, Silverstone is becoming a, well, not becoming, it is a rip-off in my opinion. But yeah, Hungaroring always used to be one of the more valuable ones. You get a good price. Hungary. Now let's just get him on some fresh tyres. Let's get Lando in on some fresh as well. %92%, so I think we won't mess about anymore with that. Let's just throw him on some softs, get a bit more running. $93, so we actually went down, didn't we? So we'll revert after this. Yeah, also depends on what you want to go for. If you're just looking for entry and sort of walk around the track and all the rest of it, you still get good prices out there at a lot of the tracks. Obviously the grandstands is where it takes the money really. Some tracks you can get really good advantage points by just walking around the track as well, so depends. I often go to sort of local race tracks and watch racing, and so we've got a crash here. Let's just wait and see what's happened.
There's been a crash.
Georgie boy,
Here's the replay.
who comes from just up the road from me in Kings Lynn.
And oh, there's contact.
Had a spinneroonie and a little love tap with the barrier there. Yeah, the local tracks, and go and watch some sort of touring cars or what are typically sort of F3, those types of cars. It's quite nice to walk around the track. All tracks are different, but some give you some good vantage points, and then you can walk around different areas of the track as well, which is quite nice.
Okay, Lando, that is the checkered flag, so we are boxes flat.
I always find watching racing live at the track is it's a brilliant experience because you get to take it all in. The sounds and sense of the speeds is incredible. How it's different to watching, say, live football. When you go to a football stadium, obviously you can see the full match, you're seeing everything. When you go to a track, you can only see, a very small portion of it. So depending on how quick the track is, you don't see what's happened potentially. Obviously, you've got the screens and the commentary going across the track. But you can't physically see it all, can you, until like another minute, until they all come past. Which, there's no getting around that unless we had some kind of fishbowl track. It's underneath the track or above it. But that is a weird experience with the racing, where it's unlike any other live sport where you can, tennis, you're seeing the full match, whatever sport it is, most sports. But racing, you kind of have to wait for them to come back around. But there we go. Anyway, we've finished our practice sessions. And it's, yeah, the next cheaper one is Japan. Yeah, Japan's a long way to go. Not, I haven't been myself, but it is a country I'd like to explore. I just find it fascinating. But yeah, Germany I think wasn't too bad. I miss Germany, Hockenheim, when they took that off. I think that was pretty good as well, cost-wise. I haven't gone to an F1 race in years because of the costs. If I decide to go to a race, I generally go to... Yeah, exactly. On base, sort of East Anglia, so we have Snetterton, so British touring cars. I've gone I didn't go last year, but the year before that. And as I say, some of the lower categories of sort of single seat racing. But yeah, it's good. And that is the other end. I know we're not watching Formula 1, but it's very cheap days out. You know, get a good 20 quid ticket, 20, 30 quid or whatever it might be for a day or two, and you see so many races, it's worth it. And then you look at Silverstone, it's just, I would go, but it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. London E-Prix, yeah. You've got the yeah, all the stadium, haven't we? That looks pretty good as well. But yeah, setup satisfaction, 93% for Lando, 92% for Oscar. And then we got car parts knowledge, 100% on both. 92% track acclimatization for Oscar, 83% for Lando. So a little bit down on that. That means that the driver prep going into the weekend will be 92% for Lando, 93% for Oscar. As we get confirmation of that, then, as we said, Lando, 92% driver prep, 93% Oscar. Not our best, to be honest with you. It was a little bit of a struggle to get those setups. Anything over 90 we're pretty happy with, but yeah, we'd like to send that about 95, 96%.
Our weekend continues with qualifying, as the drivers fight it out for a strong grid position.
But as I say, it was going to be a chilled stream today. I've only got time for a short stream, so I am going to leave it there. So we've got some qualifying to come. As I say, I'll be back Tuesday to get that done. Let me just save this off, just so we're not forgetting anything. Problem is I'm trying to balance this with getting the episodes out. So if I go too far across the streams, I then struggle to catch up with the episodes because I'm time limited in the week. And the weekend, so just trying to keep some of the streams short and snappy just so I can catch up. We've got the last episode, which the last episode that's live on the channel is Austria. That's already out. Silverstone we have just about finished, so I'm just going to finish the edit on that tomorrow, so that'll be out tomorrow, and then I'll be up to date again. So on Tuesday we'll kick on, do live qualifying, and then we'll also do the Hungarian Grand Prix as well. Oh yeah, Brands is still a great. Brands has still a great track. Yeah, Japan is great. I think to what I've seen. I mean, I'm speaking like I've been there. I've definitely not been there, but you know what you see of it. It's just a different culture. It'd be worth going for it. Ah, good shout, Dean. I'm going to do that before I go, because if I leave it a few days, I am definitely going to forget that. Let's do that now and save. Keep that engine on. Good job you were here. Yeah, I think that would be a great, you know, if you had all the money in the world, it'd be a great experience, wouldn't it? Just go around the different countries, Formula 1 tracks, take them all in. But yeah, I think, and Suzuka is such a great track as well. Gearbox 0%. It was still going though. We'll keep that 36% to use that on the next practice. Brilliant. Right, we'll save it there. Thanks to you that have been in the stream and on the chat. As I say, if you can like the stream, that does help me out. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. And yeah, if you check the main page, the latest episode is there. So any likes, comments on that is also really appreciated. And I'll be back Tuesday around about 7 PM GMT. And we'll crack on through the Hungaroring for qualifying and the